Hi everybody, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today. As you can see, I've got all the new in color inks on my table because the Fab Friday challenge for this past week was to use the new in colors. So I stepped up and I made this card, and whenever I look at this new set of colors, I always think about rainbow. So obviously I went to the rainbow idea. I decided to use the marbled background stamp to create the rainbow effect in the background, and then I'm pairing it with sunshine sayings because what's brighter than a sunshine and rainbows, so let's put them together, right? So let me go ahead and show you how I did these techniques and put the card together. I hope you enjoy it today. Remember, you can always give me thumbs up and comments below. I appreciate that. Let me know you enjoy what I'm doing. And if you haven't already subscribed to my show and tell news, it comes out every Tuesday. And I have all of this week's tutorials with the PDF written out tutorial as well with photos on next week's edition. So you won't miss anything if you subscribe to the show and tell news. You'll get it all. So I'm going to start by inking my entire background stamp with the pineapple punch color because it's the lightest of all the colors, and so when I add the other colors over the top, it won't make this color darker. This color will be still fine. So, and then instead of using the ink pads for adding the rest of them, I'm going to go to my markers. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to start with the Grapefruit Grove, and I'm going to use the paintbrush tip, and I'm just going to come across the stamp with my paintbrush tip, and I'm going to add some of this Grapefruit Grove to it. Now I'm not really worried about if I cover it completely because with that yellow as the background color and it being a sunshine card, it's okay if that yellow comes through in places other than right in the middle. Now I'm going to move to the lovely lipstick, and I'm going to add some of that into this corner. Now when I stamp onto my Whisper White, the whole background stamp isn't going to show. It's going to leave some on the edges. So don't be surprised that we only get a little bit of the red and a little bit of the blue. Now I'm adding the Call Me Clover green. And I like the way this background stamp is. It's got that swirl in it, so it really makes the ink pop. Okay, now I'm going to use the Blueberry Bushel. I'm going to add that to this corner. And I was quick enough, I'm not going to worry about having to huff it. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper, just so I don't get ink all over my mess mat here that I show you all the projects on. So now I'm just going to flip this over and stamp it down. Just that. Make sure it transfers evenly. Okay, let's cross our fingers here. Oh good, I like that. Okay, so you can see how we have a little bit of all the color in there, right? I could have done a little more of the Grapefruit Grove, but we're gonna live with it. It's good to go. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got some of these die cuts in these fun new colors as well. So I've pre-cut two lovely lipstick flowers. I've pre-cut out of the Call Me Clover. I just wanted the top of this flower, and actually I'm not even going to use the whole thing. In the end I ended up cutting some of it off. So I'll show you how I did that in just a second. Let me pop all these little pieces out. I've had this set for a while. I really don't play with it as often as maybe I would like to. But now that I'm doing more of these videos, I'm really excited to get to use my stuff more often. Okay, so there's that. That's going to create this embellishment down there. Then out of the yellow, see I've got this mounted on the sorry, it's the Pineapple Punch Yellow. So I've die cut the sunshine word. Get my little top of my eye off there. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Don't lose that. We might need it. And then I have one more yellow here, and I'm going to use my die brush to help me work that out of that die. And that helps lift it and get it started. Pull it out gently. Okay. And then I'm going to use my paper piercer and poke out the rest of those little spots that my die brush didn't get out. Sometimes I still use the wax paper with the dies, so in between the cardstock and the metal die I'll put a layer of wax paper. So it's a little tip you might want to try if your dies are sticking. Okay, and then we're going to get the sunshine out. Let's see. Get that started. Pull that out. Good. And then we can poke all those little extra pieces out as well. Now be careful with your paper piercer. It is very sharp, hence the piercing of paper. So when you're piercing out pieces with your fingers, don't go too hard, because it really will poke you and it will hurt. Okay, so there's all our pieces. Let's go ahead and put our card together. So we're going to start by using some snail, and we're going to layer up these two pieces here. And I just gave that a little bit of a frame of the yellow. But see, we hit all that cut out part. So, and if you wanted more yellow flowers, you've got room to do more yellow there. Then I have just a basic white card base, and I'm going to put that up on dimensionals because I didn't use ribbon or anything. I'm just using all these die cuts, but I wanted to give it a little bit of thickness. Okay, so I'm just going to center this on here. Okay, so then the sunshine word is going to go here, across there. We're going to stamp the "You Are My." We're going to add this up top. Now this guy down here, I made this little flower. Okay, so this in itself could be a flower, but I decided that this, with a couple of these on it, were kind of pretty. But then as I was putting this one together, I decided to cut some of these off to make it look more like leaves, you know, a little less full. So I just came in with my paper snips and just trimmed off some of these extra loops. Trim off the bottom here. Just shape it the way you want it. So sometimes we call, when you use a stamp and you marker it so that you can omit some of the words, we call that omit stamping. So I'm going to call this one omit die crafting. So I know. Alright, so there's that. That's going to become our stem, and then our two little red flowers can go on there like that. So let's go ahead and stamp our "You Are My Sunshine." I'm going to use the Call Me Clover for that. And it's nice that it worked out that my yellow was right here, because now I'm going to stamp in green on top. Alright. Good. You Are My. Now I'm going to come in with my fine tip glue, and I'm going to sit down, because I usually stand up. I'm going to sit down so I can work on this nice and quickly for you. Okay, so just open up your fine tip glue. Now you could use Tombow. Just remember that if Tombow kind of squishes out around your edges, it's going to stay tacky, whereas the fine tip glue, even if it bubbles out a little bit, when it dries, it's dry. It won't be tacky. So, okay, a little bit of that on there. Put that in place. So I stamped my words, then I'm positioning my sunshine word. Now I'm going to work on my little clump of flowers down here. Just add a little bit. Put this down here on the bottom. Hold that in place for a second so it can be here. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit on the back, the center of the flower. Put one over here. I'm going to put one on the other side to balance it. So kind of fun way to use your different dies to come up with the card front. Alright, and then I'll put this yellow one up on top. I'm not going to use that eye, the dot from the eye, I don't think. I'm just going to put the flower up here. And then what I did on my other one is I added a rhinestone to the center of that, just to make it stand out a little bit from the red ones. So, okay, so there's that. Then for our envelope, keeping it simple and keeping with the stamp set that we're using, I'm going to bring in Lovely Lipstick. And I'm going to take the flower stamp and I'm just going to mimic here, stamp in the corner, and we're done. Alright guys, so there's our Stamp and Show and Tell for today. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss anything I do submit projects on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can subscribe here to the YouTube channel and subscribe to my Show and Tell news, and you'll know all the promotions going on and all the different fun projects that I'm working on. And that's it for today. Alright, I hope you all survived this really hot week. It was a very hot week here in New York, and we had plenty of sunshine, so this card is fitting. And I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks everybody. Stamp with you soon. Bye-bye.